All right. It's good because we should be on. I see it coming up. AM Kevin.
The Imperials.
Let's go. I think he's coming out of the house, isn't he? I can't hear it. Is he coming out of the house? Good morning. It's AM Kevin time. Yay.
It's a sunshiny day.
A sunshiny day.
Rain clouds are rolling away.
Today it really is.
And I see blue skies coming through.
Bum, 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 bum.
Trouble and pain.
Hi Donna. Hi James. Everybody's there. Yes.
Morning rain.
Donna, I think is out. She's down the west. I think Donna's in Arizona. Remind me, Donna, where you went to. I met her in Florida. She's a friend of my mom's. James. Hello, wherever James is at. I think he's in Texas. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank on where people are right now. But take the gum out. Gosh, I love my gum in the morning for some reason now.
Oh, gross.
I got orange flavor, so it's like having chewing orange juice.
Can we not talk about this, please?
Okay,
It disgusts
sure.
me. More than
I know. Speaking of disgusting, the fake news is driving me crazy. You know, Poland received the president just wonderfully with warm results, you know, but they always want to focus on the protesters. They don't want to do, you know, all the people that love our president, love America. Now, because I've been over there. Now, I've been to Poland, Moldova, Romania, Russia, all over Russia, from one side to the other. I've been all over Europe and England and Ireland and Northern Ireland and Scotland and Wales. And can I name any more countries I've been to? But I've been all over Europe and most of Eastern Europe.
Yes.
They love America.
Yes.
And so for them to paint anything less and to say that, and yes, they even love our presidents no matter who they are because they represent our country. And so anyway, I'm just so fed up with it. It has nothing to do with news today. I was just,
Why should you love any leader no matter who they are? That's kind of a weird concept.
From America. Because
That's
most
dumb.
of, I got to chew gum, you're making me nervous. Because
What about like
because
Franklin
America
Buchanan,
has
James
always
Buchanan?
been known as a Christian nation. Well, we didn't go overseas back then, but you know, I mean, we did, but we were always, you know, politically, there's always going to be tension. There's always going to be people that are back and forth. But the fact of the matter is, people love the concept of America in other countries. They love Disney World. They love freedom. They love the churches, the fact that we're a Christian nation and we are free in that way. They love all that. Just trust me on this. When you go around the world, you find out. They almost kiss your feet. They just love you. And it's not in a prideful way, but it's just the truth. Vegas, that's where you are, Donna. That's right. You're in Nevada. Have a happy, blessed day. You too. Good morning from North Carolina. Lulu and Kim are in the Carolinas. They're doing a concert out there, and they said, hey, shout out. Nancy, hi, Nancy. Nancy, where are you from again? You got to tell me where you're from. Dennis and Leslie, let me know where you're from. The McKays. I know they're nearby. But anyway, so let me know where you're from. Tell me your weather. What's Vegas like today, Donna? Let us know. All right?
She can't.
Why?
What happens in Vegas?
Stays in Vegas. She can't tell us. Okay. I'm taking my gum out again. Sorry if it's gross, but okay. There you go. Speaking of gross, okay, here we got grossness. All right. Just a lot of crazy news. This Kansas City. That's right, Nancy. I'm sorry, Kansas City. Here I come. I'm coming close. I'm going west this weekend. I'm going to visit my brother he's near Enid, Oklahoma. So I'm heading to Oklahoma. Anyway, Nancy from Kansas City.
Yes.
I'm close. I'm going close by. I know it's the McKay Project. I just couldn't remember, Dennis, where Mississippi. That's it. That is not as close as I thought. For some reason, I thought Arkansas or something. But and when is the McKay Project coming back on the Kevin Shorey Show? That's what I really want to know.
Come on.
Yeah. Angie's here. The Summers were just here. John and Angie. They brought the group, the Oasis band.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
They were awesome.
Yeah, they were. And Angie, they were awesome. And wait, you see the edited video? It was really good. Turned out good. But I was starting to say, studies show that the Saudi Arabians,
Yes, tell me.
no surprise here, can help stop terrorism globally. And
they didn't already promote it.
Yeah, if they didn't already promote it. No, but here's the deal. They said all they have to do is these three things. I think it's 3 or 4. stop funding fundamentalist mosques in their own country, the fundamentalists.
Yes.
But they support them, and they fund them. And if they stop taking care, because they say that they're not for them, you know, like other countries have done this, so they can do just like France and Austria already have bans on fundamentalist mosques, those that are, you know, reported terrorists from that group, that clan.
You know, that seems a dangerous idea to me.
Crack down. Well,
because
it's danger.
That's
I mean,
like
it's not,
because that's like saying that, you know, Islam is okay, but there's this strand of it that.
Okay, we don't agree on that as Christians, but I'd rather them cut down on the extreme Muslims
I just don't
and not
know
focus on all. They're not going to focus on all Muslims because they're Muslims.
I know.
The
I don't know
Saudis
that
are.
there isn't such thing as extreme.
They also have to crack down on home extremist clerics.
Yes.
Yes, target the clerics that are extremists. Stop banning the fundamentalist mosques. Crack down on the extremist clerics. Support any air or military strikes actions against radical Islam.
Yes.
They need to do that. And fourthly, make peace with the Houthi rebels that are in Yemen.
Ah.
Yeah, because they're good, I guess. I don't know. Make peace with them.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know much about the Houthi. I'm just reporting. So
Wasn't that in Rwanda, the Hutsis and the Tutsis?
no, this is the Houthi, Houthi.
Oh.
No,
And the
the
blowfish.
Houthi, and support the blowfish as well. That's right. Elizabeth has joined us, and of the McKay Project, Dennis may be from Mississippi, but his wife is from Arkansas. So I wasn't far off. But speaking of Saudis, speaking of oil, they have built a $54 billion facility in Australia. The Aussies are now in the oil game. Chevron, by way of a company called Gorgon, which is a company
The Gorgon Medusa?
with LNG.
Yes.
So LNG is owned by Gorgon, who it's owned by Chevron. Somehow the United States, Australia, and whatever these oil conglomerates are come together. And because now that Iran has so much freedom now and support from us, and we're getting oil from Iran, that whole, you know, Obama debacle, but that's another time. They're trying to get the customers away from, because some of the biggest oil exporters are, of course, Saudi Arabia, the U.S., and Venezuela. And Russia. Russia has a lot of pipelines as well. The largest importer,
right?
Who would you guess is a larger importer? Has to have the most oil from all these sources. What country? My favorite Trump word to say.
China.
China. Right. They're the largest in the world oil importer. And so Australia, by way of LNG, by way of Gorgon, by way of Chevron.
Okay. By way of Enron. No.
Yeah, they're all ronning. Yes.
And moron.
And moron. They're trying to be a force to be reckoned with and fight for the Chinese oil bill, I guess.
Well, somebody's got to fight for him, I guess.
But it all comes down to the United States through Australia, so that's kind of good for us, I guess. I don't know. It just seems like it's such a, what a tangled web we weave. Yeah. But anyway, it's cool in 93, but it'll reach 113 by 3 p.m. today in Las Vegas, Nevada. Yeah, there you go. Here's Miles. Miles is out in... Are you in Kentucky or Ohio? He's on the border of Cincinnati. Have you ever been to Cincinnati?
I have.
Great
It's a cool city, actually.
Love Cincinnati.
It's got a lot of character. The hills,
right on the river. One of the best barbecue rib I've ever had in my life.
Absolutely.
Crossed these lips was on the river in Cincinnati. Actually, there's 2 places I've been in Cincinnati, both wonderful ribs. But Sarah watches the both shows every day. Thank you, Sarah. There in Pennsylvania. We've got Pennsylvania. We've got Kentucky. We've got Nevada. We've got Miles. Oh, this is a different Miles. Oh, I'm sorry, Miles. This is a Miles that went to school at Masters Media at Jim Baker's school.
He's miles from where you said.
Miles from where I said. He's in Oregon.
Yes.
Yeah, you can't get much farther from Kentucky than Oregon. I'm sorry, Miles. How you doing, buddy? What's the weather in Oregon? Cindy has joined. Has your brother had his baby? She went to go to the hospital.
I believe he might have.
He
was induced this
Maybe
morning.
My wife, if she'll talk to me, will tell me. It's supposed to be a boy, right?
Yes.
Yes.
It's supposed to be.
Must be. And so it's 85 in Columbus, Mississippi today. And
Yes.
supposed to get up to the mid 90s.
Ah.
Yeah, we'll get up there too, I'm sure, today. You're not going to believe this. Until my wife tells me, and then I'll celebrate Philip's new baby boy,
Yes.
supposedly. And have they ever made a mistake like that? I don't think they can make that mistake.
I don't think so.
You know.
Not maybe back in like the 60s or something.
Yeah, when the
I think they said you were
sonograms-
going to be a girl.
No, I was not. I was not. But you know, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going
I'm
to fight with
just
you. I'm
kidding.
not going to argue with you. Miles is moving back to Branson. That'll be really good. Do you need a job? Anyway, sorry. I can't hire. We have a production company that hires and fires. But it's pretty nice there in Oregon. I bet it is. Really, the West Coast is nice all year round. It's sunny and hot in Maine. So it's going to be sunny and hot a lot of places here today. And so I don't think anybody's expecting rain, but, you know, somewhere in the world. Okay. Japan is fighting inflation in a different way. How do you feel that inflation is going down in Japan?
Feng Shui.
No, feng shui is a farce, but
Okay.
don't tell your grandmother. But anyway,
I thought it was a kid that was on our show like last
oh,
week.
his name was Feng Shui, yes. Angie, yeah, Feng Shui, we traveled with them. No. Honey, thank you for saying hi, I love you, but tell us if there's a baby. Is a baby not yet? Okay, so we'll make the big announcement, big drum roll. You're not going to believe how they're fighting inflation.
Tell me how.
You ready? Wait,
Sure.
Can you make some guess about Feng Shui? It's not
Okay,
even
how
from
are they
Japan.
fighting? It's not. Okay, how are they fighting inflation?
Yeah.
Well, you know, I imagine. How do you fight inflation? By lowering prices?
You'll never guess.
I don't know.
All right. There is all over the country, there is 5 million vending machines. They are putting vending machines. They're finding vending machines on the islands of Okinawa. They're in the shrines and temples of Kyoto. They're even on Mount Fuji. They have put vending machines.
Ew, that's gross.
It's not just soda. There's fried chicken. You can get your train tickets. You get flowers. You can even get underwear in these. They put these vending machines where you can get all kinds of things,
Is the concept that
and it's cheaper.
the more places you have to consume, the more you'll practice the art of consuming? Is that the idea?
Very good, Grasshopper. I really believe that's what they believe. You know, they can get your noodles and your soup in the vending machine. You can get your breakfast, lunch, supper. You get, you know, if you blow out some underwear, you get your underwear. I don't know. Fried chicken, that really flipped me out. You get some fried chicken in a vending machine.
machines in these beautiful places, Mount Fuji,
I know. I saw pictures, and it's not like it doesn't really wreck the place.
they're made of
but it's just-
bamboo.
No, they're regular vending, but they're big holes for
Yeah.
things, you know, like, you know, they get clothing. You know, so you don't expect you're going to get a soda at Mount Fuji, but I suppose
Wait,
You
isn't
know?
there like a Mount Fuji water or something though in that?
Mount Fuji water, yeah, and I'm sure it comes right from the mountains
Yeah.
of Fuji. But no, they really feel that inflation is going down. Well, they're not hiring people, so I don't know that helps the workplace, but it costs them less to put out these deals, and so because they don't have to pay anybody, any persons, and it's just free money for them, I guess.
I wonder if, because we always associate Japan with, robotics and certain new technologies. I wonder if automation has, gone faster there than, especially because there's still a lot of manufacturing and stuff.
Yeah.
I
Well,
bet it
probably,
has. Yeah.
I mean, they come up with everything. I'm sure there's,
Yeah.
Japan has all the latest
So, because you're talking
technology.
about, unemployment and stuff, and a lot of that has to do with, the robots taking our jobs and, and doing assembly line work or manufacturing work, or I bet that's accelerated in Japan.
That probably has,
Yeah.
especially 5 million vending machines. I mean, I'm sure there's all over the United States, there's at least that many.
Right.
But we're a larger, Japan's the size
We're
of
a
this
continent,
desk.
yeah.
Yeah, and so, to squeeze in some vending machines. Oh, I
Yes.
was wrong. It is raining somewhere.
Ah.
Sarah says it's raining in Pennsylvania.
And no baby yet, Kev.
No baby yet. All right. Rita has joined. Rita is South Dakota. But we've just got a global ministry, don't we? All over the United States.
But Kev, if the
I miss-
baby is born this morning,
Yeah.
I think it'll be kind of like,
It'll be a girl?
well,
No.
in numbers, sort of a godly baby. Because today is
The
7/7/17.
7/7/17. That's interesting.
Kind of interesting.
Right? Oh, wow. My nephew was born on the 7th of August, but it was at 7 p.m. And he was 7 pounds. I mean, there was a bunch of sevens.
Yeah, a
with
lot of
his
sevens,
number.
yeah.
Casey, but that didn't really work for him. But no, I love you, Casey. But the thing, yeah, there would be a 7.
But, you know,
no, then it must be born at like
oh, I know, right?
7 p.m.
7,
maybe
yeah.
tonight. 'Cause it's
But,
still
you
no
know,
baby.
Philip will sit there and analyze that all day long. You know, he'll go to town with us, something
He's
like
the
that.
analytical.
You know?
Yes. Yes, Rita. Valerie is here. Valerie, where are you from, Valerie? I know Valerie because she's been a partner here in the ministry, but I didn't even know where she's from. And South Dakota had a lot of rain a couple nights ago. Yeah, we've had rain all week. This is the first sunny whole day. And Sarah's asking, did I know Tammy Faye Baker? Yes, of course. I sang with Tammy Faye back at PTO when I was 19 years old. I started as a PTO singer, Heritage USA singer, then PTL singer. And I left to be with the Lundstroms. But I did know Tammy Faye. I don't know if she would have recalled who I am, but there was plenty of different singers. But yes, I did know. I actually told her a joke one time, and she didn't laugh. So that was the end of my career with Tammy Faye. But anyway, so any other news you'd like to share? Is there anything else happened? Is Venus going to be okay? I mean, I'm worried.
I don't know, actually.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like there was any foul play, so to speak. In other words, I don't think
Just
she
a
was
bona fide
intoxicated or anything. But
terrible accident.
Yeah.
Terrible accident happened here. Shout out to the Mustafa family. I mean, Abdel, I might go to the funeral. Do you want to go to his funeral? It's
when
at
is it?
noontime today. Be right after we do the show.
Oh, I'll see.
We're talking about it live.
Yeah, I know.
If you can. I wanted to
Let's
go, but I don't want to go by myself. It's whatever. But I want to pay respects for my son who's in Tennessee. He can't. And then a lot of folks are working and stuff. But tragedy, I think, on our greedy groups, because I'm about to do a greedy group of the day. But I'm sorry. Somebody's got to say it. I think motorcycle companies should be all defunct. I mean, they're not because people are buying motorcycles, but I'm telling you, a pastor friend of mine, Decatur, Illinois, killed motorcycle. My brothers, both of them, had motorcycles as younger and wrecked and almost ended their life. I mean, they were just covered in. They had to go to the hospital. They had,
How
gashes
many years
and
apart
broken
was
bones.
that, Kevin, that they wrecked? Like, was it
within the same year?
Oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, and it's not even as good. You could be the greatest motorcyclist. It's really not even the motorcycle or the motorcycle driver. It's people around you. It's just too dangerous.
Yeah.
Like what happened to Abdel just yesterday or day before yesterday. The guy swerving, and I've heard different stories. Now somebody said that he turned and he got T-boned. But either way, it was an accident. A pickup truck. You don't have a chance. You don't have a chance that there with a van or a pickup truck or really any car. It's a box of metal that is hitting a bicycle. A bicycle, basically. And I guess maybe this even comes from long ago when I was a little boy. I mean, I was in 4th grade. I don't know what age I would have been. Probably 8 years old. I was walking down the sidewalk home from school, and I saw one of my friends from school, a distant friend, not a close. We didn't play in the playground together, but because it was 4th grade.
Yeah.
But I'd seen him at recess. I mean, I saw him in class, and he had just gotten a brand new. This is right after Christmas break. Got a brand new bicycle, and I was walking down my sidewalk. I'll never forget, as long as I live, him go right out in front of a car who didn't stop at the stop sign, and it hit him, and he flipped off that bike. I mean, he was killed almost instantly, and I saw it before my eyes. So maybe it goes back to that. But you're on any kind of bicycle. I just think it's bad. I mean, ask Gary Busey. He hadn't been right in his head ever since, and he even wore a helmet.
Yeah.
Or maybe he didn't, but he wants to now. I don't know what the deal is, but
My cousin Ben,
I'm
Kevin,
on a soapbox about it. I'm telling you.
he always had this idea. I think it was his friend's idea or something, but to build almost this like inflatable suit. And that if your motorcycle crashed, it could like literally like inflate real quick or something. But
then how are you gonna really be able
I don't know. No, it's like it's like snug to you,
like an airbag.
Yeah, like an airbag kind of thing.
It hits.
Almost, it was like wrapped around your body, and if
You could see though it accidentally going off.
Oh yeah,
and then you get killed by the.
And then
airbag.
you're the Michelin man driving them, But you're never gonna, I don't think
there's never gonna be
stop
100%,
people.
but that's a great idea.
No, I don't think you're ever going to be able to stop people. I mean, freedom is, if people can drive on 4 wheels, they want to drive on 2 wheels. Heck, if you're a comedian and a juggler, you might just drive on 1 wheel sometimes. But that's
Yeah,
people are
Michael's.
But people do things and they take those risks, and I think there's a certain
Right.
adrenaline and a thrill to that.
Right.
I think we also need to pray for the person that hit him though, because that's a traumatic experience. I
I'm
don't think
sure.
anybody gets in their vehicle and says, I want to.
No.
In someone's life,
It's horrible.
you know.
I think the only way that, because motorcycle companies will still exist as long as people get motorcycles, I think the only way to stop something like this, without taking away our freedoms, is just tell your friends and family, sell your motorcycle, to get off your motorcycle. There's no way that somebody, I know anybody I know that's had a motorcycle has either a story of an accident or being hurt or knows somebody that was killed. And I don't understand it. So, it's their choice. Bob's here, Pastor Pudge.
Pastor Pudge.
And so he said, easy on the comedians. What did I say about comedians?
I don't know.
I don't remember. But they're funny. The comedian that rides the unicycle, I guess. But anyway, Barbara's joined us, and Dave has joined us. David, where are you at, David? Where are you from? It'd be good to know. And where's Barbara? I think I asked Barbara already. I think she's in St. Louis, but I forget. But I'd like to memorize that all I can. The way to stop it is just stop. Stop riding motorcycles. I just implore you. That's just the only way. It's free. You can do whatever you want. You're free to kill yourself. That's fine. But I just don't see. Somebody needs to say it. The truth of it is nobody lives. Nobody lives on a motorcycle.
All right, so now you have to stop those guys who free climb up giant cliffs.
They can do what they want. I'm just saying. But if you love your family and friends, maybe you should implore them to get rid of the motorcycle. Let's go to the greedy group of the day.
Okay.
Let's see. Cliff and Joyce are on and have sent me a note. I'll have to answer them later. But let's see. Let me get back to where I was. Greedy group of the day. You ready? Greedy group? You've got a song. That's all you care about. Anita and Patty. 2 more have joined. Hello. That's all they care about. And if I name the name Martin Shkreli, what does that bring
Sounds
up?
like a character from Animal House or something.
He is.
I don't
He's
know.
an animal. And there we go. It's been announced. A healthy baby boy has been born.
Oh.
Do we know his name?
Yes.
His name is?
Philip Ray Hollingsworth III.
Yes. Philip Ray Hollingsworth III.
And so the daddy, the senior Philip Ray Hollingsworth, we
Yes.
called Spooky.
Spooky.
Because he was born on Halloween.
Mm-hmm.
Philip, we call Philip. And then they're going to call the baby Ray. It's going to be his
Ray.
go-by name.
Philip III Ray.
Yeah.
All right. Sounds good. And they're nothing to do with the greedy group, but the greedy group starts with Martin Shkreli. Do you know who Martin Shkreli is? News. Let's see. Let me see. He is head of a pharmaceutical company who was arrested. And it just came up in the news again because it's still under whatever of what he's been accused of. I don't think he's been sentenced as of yet.
I don't think I know about
He
this.
took a necessary drug that was part of his company that people to survive, to live.
I remember.
And he raised it 300%.
Yeah.
Raised the price from like $80 to what's 3 times that? $2,400.
Something like yeah.
Over $2,000 just to
Wow.
buy this same. That is horrible. Horrible.
Killing
Horrible. But the pharmaceutical companies are, I don't know, are they? It's a question mark. I don't say it dogmatically because then, they come after me. I'm saying could be the greedy group of the day of all the pharmaceutical companies who try to corner the market on all the different things. So, like I was talking about somebody because I didn't understand. I see these vape shops that keep coming up all over the country. And guess who wants a piece of that pie now? Because they say because there's nicotine in it, which is there's not the carcinogen, it is habit forming. So, I wouldn't recommend you doing this flavored water.
You know what it is?
stuff.
No, it's that same. It comes out of the fog machines. That's the same stuff.
Horrible. So it can't be healthy, but they haven't proven it yet. But once again, so I'm not really for them, but I'm saying they're trying now to make regulations with the FDA they've already put some sanctions, and there has to be fees that are paid to have a vape shop now. So, and then now I've heard that they're going to then put regulations on how much you sell, what's the percentage, you have to buy from us so that it's safe. The FDA has to approve it all. It's all money. And it's not, I mean, if you have any common sense, you're not vaping anyway because, so I'm against that to begin with, but because of the health issues, just like I am all the others, tobacco and the different things.
I'm not sure if it's even better than cigarettes. I don't
see how.
Yeah.
I thought it was just, first I thought it was flavored water.
Yeah, that's what they say. They say it's just vapor. No, it's just some kind of chemical.
It's not. Well, but
it's
I found out there's nicotine in it, and it's habit forming.
It's some, I heard the name the other day. It's something, it's got an "ene" and the glycine, renalene, or whatever, something like that. That ain't natural.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to go off to them, but mainly FDA Pharmaceuticals. They're our favorite of the greedy groups today.
They are.
But this Martin Shkreli, I hope, for goodness sake, that he is made an example of so that this doesn't happen. Price gouging people's lifeline. That's horrible. Yeah. And he had that smirk. He's got this smirk that makes it worse for him. You know, even if he wasn't guilty, which obviously he is, but even if he wasn't guilty just by his little... He does this evil little smirk that's just,
if you can't trust Shkreli, who can you trust, man?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Hey, let's go to our heroes of the day. And we got a great Stephen Curtis Chapman song now that we use for our heroes. And here is our heroes. By the way, Philip's
son?
Yes. His mama.
Yeah.
Is a hero for giving birth, and all ladies who give birth, you're the beginning of the heroes of the day.
To an 8-pound, some odd pound baby.
Wow! Yes, and so here's our hero of the day. Besides all mamas who give birth.
Just ordinary people laying down their lives like angels in disguise. The weak but always willing.
Hey, Janice and Cook is with us today too. Just on the show, and James is actually in Mexico, so we are global today.
Whoa.
He's in Mexico watching us.
Reaching the world.
Says it's chilly today and it'll be hot tamale. There you go. My hero is a man that I found out. It's not only one man, but there's two foundations that I think are my heroes.
Okay.
First of all, the Bob Woodruff. Bob Woodruff. I should have done more background on him, so I'm not sure, but he has started the Bob Woodruff Foundation, which he has already transitioned veterans into civilian life. By his foundation has spent $30 million to get veterans help, mental health, and get them into the workplace from Afghanistan, Iraq, or from Kuwait, or the Persian Gulf, wherever they fought, and it helps veterans. Bob Woodruff, I think it was named actually after a veteran. I think Bob Woodruff was probably a veteran, but
yeah, he's a reporter. I've heard his name before, Kevin.
Well, that's Woodward.
No, Bob Woodruff.
Yeah.
Reporter for ABC News, if it's the same guy.
Really? Well, he started a foundation.
Yeah, Bob Woodruff Foundation, yeah.
$30 million for veterans. And my other hero of the day, Bank of America.
Oh.
Yeah, which, banks don't usually become my heroes, but I'll give them fair time.
Okay.
Bank of America has purposely, the past year, hired more than 8,000 veterans.
Oh.
And they want to hire another, or at least get another 10,000 back into the workplace. They suffer from the PTSD. They suffer from the different disorders, things from, from fighting in a war. Some are amputees, and some are just have other illnesses. And they just find it hard to get back into civilian life. Thank God for Bob Woodruff Foundation and Bank of America today. They are my heroes of the day. Anyway. That's Valerie. That's right. Valerie is the director of operations for Bill Ballinger's Break the Gray ministry out there in Indiana. All right.
Oh, cool.
I think we can get all 50 states in Mexico if we keep.
I'm telling you, man.
If we went another hour. But
Trump gets on, we can get Poland.
There you go. Trump. We get Well, he's not in Poland now. I think he's in Germany.
No, he's in Germany.
Because there was protesters. That's what they show the protesters. He's in Hamburg. Hamburg, Germany. And I guess it was a cold reception from old Merkel.
Merkel doesn't like him very much.
They take a picture. Did you see this? The picture of the G20 summit people? Everybody's in blue suits and black suits. Merkel's in red, standing in the middle, so she sticks out.
Yes.
That's not on purpose. And they put Trump down, all right, and the French president, the prime minister.
Macron.
Does. I guess he loves President Trump. He thinks it's one of his heroes. I know you wouldn't think a socialist, whatever company, they're not socialist, but you know, the French, because during the video, they're taking the picture, all of a sudden, he comes from his middle spot and goes right and puts his arm and gets right next to Donald Trump for the picture, so that he's standing next to Trump.
That's weird because they said that his opponent Le Pen was supposed to be the one that was more like
maybe
Trump
politically, but I don't know, somehow he must watch Celebrity Apprentice or something. Maybe that's why he likes him. But he wanted his picture next to him, so you see him running down while they're taking the video, ready, set, and he photobombs next to whatever yeah. I thought it was funny. Hey, let's go to a historical moment, and we will begin today, but we definitely will not finish.
Well, we might, because
really,
yeah, and you'll see why.
Okay,
yeah.
We don't have a lot of time.
I know. I think we will, because it was a long time, but you know, a lot of things that happened were put together in patterns, and so I think we can do it. Let's go.
All right, following Herbert Hoover, here's our historical moment. President number 32. Yes, we do. We got history, Norma. Yeah, that the world. Oh,
she was trying to. I knew what she was doing. Yeah. So Franklin,
what was she doing?
We're trying to go because we want to get him in.
I just love that song.
Yes, I know.
All right.
All right.
Yeah.
So
you know, if you go past 10 seconds, you have to pay for that. So yeah. Just remember that.
We aren't the greedy group of the day. We don't got it. All right.
Oh, let's put them as greedy. No, they're not. I love my royalties. Okay, go ahead.
Franklin Delano Roosevelt.
Yes.
Number 32.
A descendant of Teddy.
Yes. In fact, he was his fifth cousin.
Yes.
So
they knew each other.
They knew each other. So you know, New York, 1933 to 1945. 12 years.
3 terms.
4 terms. Yeah. 3.5. Yeah.
4th term.
So Democrat. His vice presidents were John Nance Garner, Henry Wallace, and Harry S. Truman.
Wow.
So,
yeah, do you know? Okay,
yes, keep going. Go.
I'm sorry, but these wonderful facts where God has intervened, because the guy before him was very more liberal, more not the vice president, not Garner, but the other one,
Wallace.
Yeah, Wallace. Not a good guy to be left when if FDR died and Wallace was vice president.
Yeah.
Things would have been totally different. He was anti-Jewish state and making Israel a nation. It would never have happened in the timing.
Interesting.
The Lord wanted, if Truman, and for some reason, he went with what everybody was saying, you need to get rid of Wallace. We like this Truman guy. You'll get reelected a 3rd time. So they went with Truman. And the rest is history.
Very interesting.
Very interesting.
Went with the Missourian. Yes.
A Missourian. Our first Missourian,
That's right. That's right.
Oh, I've been to his house and his library. Oh, I love Harry.
Now, of course, Grant lived in Missouri for a while, but of course, Truman was from here. So, you know, here's the deal with FDR. He was
from New
politically, yes, from New York, from this aristocratic family.
Been to that house?
Yes, yes.
Nice.
So he was politically flexible, and that made him perfect for this time. He wasn't so caught up in ideologies.
Presidents be though a little bit? I mean,
I think so.
The voice of the people and flexible, no matter what your party believes. Sometimes, but okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So he was a great charmer.
It's going to take a long time.
And you know, his daughter said that like no one really knew him. You know that it was hard to kind of get to really know him
because he was kind of a personality. You know,
personality,
you see
exactly.
The long cigarette thingy and the glasses and the
kind of an act in a sense, and also he just by the nature of his illness, you know, he had to conceal a lot of things. He was stricken with polio at age 39. And, you know, he designed his own wheelchair, and he, you know, had a custom car that he drove around with hand controls,
Been
you
to his
know.
pool where he would go down to Warm Springs, Georgia, and they thought there was healing properties in the water down there so he could walk again. So he felt that it strengthened him. And then eventually in his house, I've been to his house there in Warm Springs, Georgia. That's where he passed away. But well, go ahead.
Yes. Well, you know, so the media chose to keep this a secret, which that's interesting because, you know, the media worked with the president back then, you know, so.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
so, yes.
It
but
could be done.
A creative presidency, it came from like the competition of his cabinet. You know, he would almost, you know, Lincoln had the team of rivals, but he had them a little bit better organized. Roosevelt had this team of rivals that he would always pit against each other, and he would let the conflicts kind of secure the future and secure the idea. So it was an interesting idea, but a lot of people don't say that he was a perfect president. See, we look back and we think a lot of great things were accomplished under him, but it had to do with the timing and a lot of things that he
I don't
didn't
think
have.
we found a perfect one yet,
I
have
don't
we?
think so.
Out of
Maybe
32?
Lincoln, but other than So first woman cabinet member, Labor Secretary Frances Perkins. Thought that was kind of interesting.
I didn't know that.
But he used radio, just like we talked about before. Presidents use all the new media.
Right.
Trump used social media in a lot of ways. Obama used the internet. Different ones have used different mediums. Kennedy on TV. Well, FDR's was radio. So 60% of Americans tuned into his fireside chats.
Yes.
And
He did use TV eventually, though, right?
yeah, he did a little bit of TV. Yeah,
because it was new time.
Yeah. And he really had a sense of drama in his speaking. He knew when to say, "Nothing to fear but fear itself," and the whole thing.
This is a time that shall live in infamy.
Infamy, yes. Which that was almost just the word history, and he changed it to infamy, which made it, of course, infamous.
Infamous,
Yes,
yeah.
that's right. So
Infamous.
And so then, the New Deal comes along. He basically said, "I want a New Deal for the American people." This was just a very large set of ideals and programs that Civilian Conservation Corps was one of them. The Tennessee Valley Authority, bringing electricity and modernization to rural Tennessee and the Tennessee Valley in northern Alabama. The Public Works Administration, the Federal Deposit Insurance Company, which insures even to this day everybody's bank account up to $250,000. Glass-Steagall Act, which we talked about yesterday, which regulated banks. And of course, the Works Progress Administration, dealing with our infrastructure, just a lot of great things
Yes,
that
the
we
Works
helped.
Project, my grandfather was involved in that
Yeah.
in Massachusetts. His job, they just created, my grandmother would say, FDR, she didn't care for him, but I don't know, she thought he was the Antichrist or something at first. And then Hitler came on the scene. Oh, he's the Antichrist.
Yeah.
She pointed out the Antichrist every year to me, whoever it was. She was a very Pentecostal pastor, preacher. But she told me that my grandfather, it was his job to count the leaves on the trees, and if they were kind of not as green as they should be, he actually would paint leaves. But they would create jobs for people so
Yeah.
they'd have more than just potato soup every day. That's what she
know.
said. They lived on potato soup.
And that's kind of what happened, And also the Social Security Act was another one. And Eleanor was a really big part behind this whole thing. She was in a lot of ways the conscience of the New Deal. But that's interesting that you bring that up, Kevin, because that's kind of what happened. The New Deal didn't end the Depression. In fact, a lot of the things that ended the Depression was the industrialization of World War II and how we kind of were driven to combat that.
That's why there's a lot of people always were rushing to war. Well, if we're having a financial crisis, let's have a war. It can actually save our financial situation.
Well, it depends on how we do it.
Yeah. This time it did.
Yeah, this time it did. But because we had the Victory Gardens and the whole thing. America's rallied. But what his initiatives did do, which is kind of what you're saying, it established American confidence again. It was this idea that a new hope, a new deal, and
We are the greatest nation. Yeah.
That's right. So he was reelected with about 62% of the vote in 1936, or a landslide
Second
victory.
time, yeah.
And he was really scared the Supreme Court, the conservative Supreme Court, would overturn a lot of the New Deal. And so this is when he tried to pack the court. There were 9 members of the court. He tried to say, let's make 16 members of the court so I can add 7 new
Oh,
ones.
my
Yeah, so
goodness.
it really turned on him. And his second term really was a mixed bag. Yeah.
Who did he run against the second time?
That's a really good question. I've got
Or I
my
don't even know the first time who he ran against, because Hoover try to run? I don't
Let's
think Hoover
see.
tried to run a second. Maybe he did. Didn't he really run? I'm sorry to throw you on that
It's
one.
okay,
but
I got my
I think
stuff
it'd
here.
be interesting to know who he beat 3 times.
So he beat Herbert Hoover, and then Alf Landon was the second one. Then Wendell Willkie. I've heard of Willkie before.
Wendell Willkie,
And
yeah.
then, of course, he beat the same person the 4th time that Truman beat Thomas
Dorsey,
Dewey.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, so his second term was like a mixed bag and kind of mired in a little bit of controversy because of the court packing and stuff.
Dewey, I meant.
Yeah, Dewey. So Congress pushed back on him, and it's very interesting because you could easily see, had he not had 2 more terms. This idea of, this good New Deal first, and then kind of a winding down of a second term, and then somebody else coming in. Maybe even like a Dewey, who was a real popular Republican at this time. But World War II happened, and he worked to convince American isolationists that we might have to get involved. In 1940, France fell to the Nazis, and London, it was blitzed. And so in November, he was reelected to a 3rd term.
Yeah.
And then a few weeks later was December 9th. And, a date that will live in infamy. Yes.
41, yeah.
So he picked great generals, and that was one of the reasons he really succeeded. George Marshall and all these guys. And
MacArthur,
Yes.
Eisenhower, Patton. We should do, that's
yeah,
4
we will.
shows right
well,
there.
because we got to
Let's
go
those
back.
generals.
We got to go back after we end the presidencies. We got to do some different stuff. So we'll go back to some generals.
We got to.
But one thing that he did was, while we were fighting against the internment of Jewish people in Europe, we interned Japanese Americans. So were we that much better? We
Well,
didn't
we
commit
didn't
a
gas 'em and kill 'em,
genocide.
yeah.
But
No.
in a lot of ways, it's some principle that we were kind of had fallen to, which is interesting because he said, fear itself, but that's the idea. We were afraid, so we lowered ourselves to, not obviously to the Nazis, but to a place where it was not American. to do
it was
that,
very cruel and unfair, for sure. But, yeah.
Yeah.
At the time, today we do things a lot different. It's all you knew because, okay, the Japanese have just bombed us, and we're going to war with the Japanese for sure, and we're going to fight the Germans as well. What Japanese people do you trust? There wasn't a lot of Japanese people in America.
But how many? I guarantee there were way more German descendants in America that. Why didn't they round up Scott Hoffman's family then?
Well, I think they did.
I
think they did. They rounded up some Germans as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the intelligence that we had at the time. It wasn't that great, and I'm not excusing it. They really shouldn't have. If they do, put them in hotels and a night, something to keep them from the population at the time. Whatever, there was different ways they could have. Yeah, it was bad.
He believed in preserving our republic, our religion, and our civilization. So
Yeah.
the missteps that he might have made. I do think he was doing it he was trying to do the right thing. But
Right.
So he launched D-Day, and 5 months after D-Day, he was reelected to 4th term at 62 years old.
Wow.
And really, he was too old, and he was kind of getting but
Well, 62 is not that old.
Well, I'm just saying for him. He
Yeah, 'cause
was dealing with a lot of
his
health problems and
right.
everything. But this is interesting because Roosevelt and Churchill convinced Stalin to complete the legacy of Woodrow Wilson, and they created the United Nations.
Yeah.
So this thing that they tried to
that
do
Malta
with the
or
League of
Yalta
Nations. Yeah,
conference, whatever.
Malta, I believe. It's interesting as we kind of wind down FDR. To be a great president, you need a crisis in some ways.
Yeah.
And FDR had 2, right? He had the Great Depression in the 30s.
Boy,
he had
he
World
did.
War II in the 40s.
Doesn't it seem like that? Now that's something I never thought about.
Yeah.
But the ones that we call our greatest presidents, George Washington, Revolutionary War, and the Founding Fathers, all
Yeah.
of those, John Adams, Thomas Jefferson.
Absolutely.
Lincoln, Civil War, plus the myriad of things that were happening besides the Civil War.
Yeah.
Slavery and the whole deal. And then FDR, when you skip over to some of the greatest, it was during some of the...
That's right. It's so true,
Well,
and
that's crazy, because I guess you got to go through, and I would put George W. in there when 9/11 hit.
George
I think
W.
he
Bush.
acted admirably, mostly until the end. But yeah,
Well, and so this is an interesting part that I came up with, Kevin, because the founders, when we were studying the founders, they were like a mystery box, I describe.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that is number one, they were further back in history, so it was hard to know a definitive answer on some of the things they did. Number two, all the events seemed to move slower in this time, because news traveled slower,
Right.
Different things. And also, you get people who, they, like we say, a lot of them were Christian, but some of them more than others. But sometimes I think you get, people who want to say they were all the most Christian people that we've ever had as president,
I wouldn't.
So what I'm saying is that when we studied the founders, we really had to kind of dissect a lot of it and try to figure it out almost as a puzzle. But the more modern presidents were defined more by the historical events that happened around them. And so I think it's a lot easier to put together and piece together the historical events of the modern presidents. But I think the puzzle that you have with the modern presidents is navigating, especially trying to tell it the way I'm telling it in sort of a nonpartisan sense. You have to navigate sort of the political ideologies and things. But like I was saying, I think the historical moments really define these presidencies more in some ways than the older ones. So yeah, it's a difference in the eras, but you know, important nonetheless. So yeah,
Totally.
so that's FDR.
Then he goes down to Warm Springs with his secretary, and yeah, and
Yes.
dies. I stood right on the spot where he passed away, and
Wow.
he had the aneurysm and was gone.
And you know, his monument, Kevin, is one of the most unique in Washington. It's just like sort of like
Where is it?
It's
I don't think I've seen
actually
that one.
it's like sort of near Jefferson. And me and Maddie when we were really little, and it's just like a bunch of reflecting pools, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and some of them there are statues, and some of them, like in one of them, is a line of the Depression guys, in like a statue in the middle of the
Oh, okay.
reflecting pool, and then in another one is him and his wife and the little dog, you know, that they
Oh,
had.
okay.
So it's a
Yeah, I
pretty
don't think
cool,
I've seen
a
that
unique
one.
monument.
I
Yeah,
don't see
Maddie
it.
splashed water up on me and got me all wet.
Okay,
so,
there you go. So you have some FDR water on you.
FDR water, yes, the healing properties of the FDR
Yeah.
water.
So
yes.
he passes away, and then the change of the vice president in the nick of time got us Harry S.
Harry S.
Truman.
Truman,
That
yes.
stands for nothing, right? It's
I
just
guess,
an S.
yeah.
It's just an S, but he's our first Missouri guy, yay! Or at least our
Missouri.
first from born raised Missouri. Yes, buck stops here. I mean, I love this guy. I don't care that, you know, Democrat, Republican. He was great, great man. And I'll share my stories. Pat Boone actually told me a story about Harry Truman.
Okay.
He was friends with him, or at least, you know, Pat Boone from the time of, I think, Truman on, was friends with all the different presidents.
Oh, yeah.
Until lately, you know. But anyway, we've been joined by Amy. Amy, just down one of our vendors.
Yeah.
And Terry and Tommy. Hi, Tommy. Been a long time. I was down there in neck of woods, tried to call you. You didn't answer. Sorry, you missed me. Jared in Indiana and Sheila. I don't know, where's Sheila from? Sheila, let us know where you're from.
Tommy Lofton, Kev?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah,
I hadn't heard
Tommy.
I need to call him.
Yeah?
Yeah, I haven't
What are you
talked
gonna
to
call him?
I haven't talked
Just
to him like a year almost.
Well,
Tommy,
we
I'll call you
are a legit. Hey, you know what? I might as well say this, since another has been born into the Tillis stream of birthdom.
Kevin, grandmother was saying how she feels old because she's having her first great grandson.
Great grandson.
And I was like, grandmother, your oldest grandson is 40. You could be having a great grandson by now. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So, you know.
Totally. Yeah, I'm just trying to find my T-shirt. I don't know where my T-shirt. We put some stuff. There it is. All right. So legitimate show because we've got a T-shirt. And where's my mug too? Oh, here it is over here. Oh my goodness, everything is.
Oh yes, that was because we interviewed the honorable mayor yesterday. I
That's
stuck a few
right. You
things
did
down
on Dixie
there.
Fieldhouse. Make sure y'all stay tuned for Dixie Fieldhouse. You know, it's on tonight. You want to make sure this afternoon and tonight. Did you edit the show? Are you ready?
We're gonna do a little editing tutorial today, and then we're gonna work on them this weekend, and we'll have like 5 episodes to release for the folks. So we're really
Okay.
excited.
All right. Well, I say we're legitimate because we got our own T-shirts and mugs now. So, and I like the logo. I try to say it. You know, we're Kevin Shorey Show want to reach the whole world, so we're on the world. We got them any size. They can come your way, and it helps keep us on the air with programs like this that everybody seems to enjoy. But I was saying, since there's a new another generation now
Yes.
being born in the Tillis bloodline, you know, we ought to throw out your grandpa's cookbook and CD. You know, we're offering these. We have these. I think we're one of the few left that are offering these, and Mel's a cooking. Some great recipes, and his gospel CD. So go online, kevinshorey.com.
You know what I researched last night, Kev? I was on the Ancestry.com, kind of
Yeah.
filling out some of the family tree.
Yes.
Granddaddy's great-great-grandfather was from South Carolina. Had a great name. I can't slipping me right now, but a Confederate soldier from South
Ooh,
Carolina.
No.
Yeah, very
Was
interesting.
was he killed in the?
No, you know, there was one of them that was killed at age 41 in some battle, but you know, I was just getting into it last night, so I had to go really get the details. But yeah,
Wow.
really interesting. You know,
Get the cookbook. It's got some of these great anecdotes and stories, as well as great recipes, and an introduction by Roy Clark. You know, our
Oh,
hee-haw
yeah.
pal. And so that's available. Want to thank all those that do support monthly. That is invaluable to us to, you know, the $33 or $34 a month. This month I'm sending one of my latest sermons on DVD so you can watch it preached from Glad Tidings in Springfield, where we were for a Sunday morning. And so it's one of my latest messages that I want you to hear. Plus I put in the Dove. It's not Dove soap because that's a company.
Yeah.
But there's a dove inscribed on the actual bar of soap.
Yes.
That's made from a vendor right here. And the beautiful smell of lavender.
Kevin, I just remembered that guy's name.
Yes?
Very interesting name. Larkin McDuffie Rogers.
Wow.
Yes.
Larkin
McDuffie.
McDuffie.
Yeah.
McDuffie. Larkin McDuffie. Wow.
Yes.
Rogers, of course. Rogers is...
There's so many Rogers. I got Rogers
Yeah.
on my dad's side, on my grandmother's side, on my grandpa's side. There's all over the
Our
place.
Catherine's middle name.
Yes.
Put that in there, Rogers. Yeah. James says he did shows with your grandpa in the 70s
That's
as the
awesome.
duo Country Cavaliers. That was interesting.
The Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah, not so much. Yes. Not so much. Golden State.
Golden State.
All right. It's time for devotions and devos. Okay, we got a theme song for our devo for the day. Oh, yes, I did too. Until just now. I forgot to tell you ahead of time. You remember what it is? Bless you. All right. By the way, as you help support us monthly, I really would ask you and urge you to. It's just $1 a day, basically, that you'd help us in getting the gospel message out. $33 or $34, a little more than $1 a day.
$1 a day keeps the debtors away. Right?
Yeah, it keeps the debtors away, keeps the devil away. You know, a prophecy or a word was given to us by one of the guests that we had here. And Isaiah says, I have spoken it, I will bring it to pass. I have purposed it, I will do it. And it was told to us not to cancel our dreams, but dream larger, believe larger, expect larger. Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and He will give you the desires. What's that?
As you're saying that, I say,
Dream
dream
Yes.
until your dream comes
Not to be
true.
afraid, not to be timid, but be bold and go forward. And the favor of God is on our ministry. And so we want to, you know, God is going to move in signs and wonders far more than experience. I'm just reading all the different prophecy, the paper that was handed to me by our guest. And we're going to do that, but we can't do it alone. We need your help. And it's together we see this. The favor that's on us then just transferred to you, and it helps you as well. I really believe in that. So today I want to go to the Devo, and the title is to know your mission. What is your mission? What is your purpose in life? Here is our Devo music.
Thy word is a lamp unto my feet and a light unto my path.
Thank you, Amy. That's true. And so we open up the Word, and I want to start with Matthew 28. What is our mission? Hey, there's Dennis. Hey, Dennis, out there on the West Coast. Oh, I want to come out to you. Whenever 4th of July comes by, I always think of this guy.
Yes.
Dennis, yeah, he pastors out in the woods out there in Washington State. And it's this beautiful, beautiful Pacific Coast country. I miss you, sir. Let's get something together. I need to call you for sure. Head out to the West Coast. We could do a whole West Coast like for a month.
Absolutely.
With all of our from Oregon and Washington connections and stuff. And it takes a month to get there. So we did it in
or it takes
36
a day
hours
if you,
straight.
Yeah.
I'll never do that again, I promise, before the Lord. Know your mission. Jesus says, before I leave you, I've given you a commission. A commission means a co-mission. It means working together. You're not fighting alone. You're not working alone. You're doing something with somebody greater than you, and that's Jesus. He said, this co-mission I give you, all authority has been given to me, verse 18 of Matthew 28. All authority has been given to me in heaven and earth, so now I give it to you. So go, therefore, and make disciples of all nations. Don't just have nice services. Don't just have gospel concerts. Make disciples. Baptizing them in the name of the Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit, and teaching them to observe all things that I have commanded you to do. For I am with you always. It says lo. King James means lo, behold. You know, or he means, maybe he could mean don't fly airplanes, because lo, I am with you. Okay. Dun-dun-dun. Lo, I'm with you always, even to the end of the age. Amen. In the end of Mark, the Gospel of Mark, he says, I'm not only giving you authority to make disciples, go preach and teach, and showing them, baptizing them in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, but he says, I will give you the authority to lay hands on the sick and they shall recover. And you can raise the dead. You will speak in new tongues. If you drink a poison, it won't even harm you. That's as much power as I've given you. If you run up on a snake or some snake or spider bites you, it's not going to harm you. That's the power. My power is greater than the venom of a snake. And some people test it, and I'm not saying, please don't snake handle. But, you know, that's just, he's saying, if you happen upon. Matter of fact, I walked up to my front porch yesterday, long, by the size of this desk, snake skin. Just the skin, which is more, if I saw the snake, I wouldn't be as afraid of just seeing the long skin right by my front door.
There somewhere.
He's somewhere lurking, ready to bite me. I don't know. We don't have bad snakes in our, I mean, we have the king snakes and the black snakes and garden snakes, but anyway, this was a long, this is one of the biggest ones I've ever seen in my yard, at least the skin. Yeah, I don't know where he's at. But the skin goes under my porch, like there's a raised up part.
Wow.
Yeah, where there should be like mulch and stuff. Yeah, somehow the mulch wears away in our, so, you know, there's a, so if I were to walk up there and he's right up under there and he bites me, Bible says I can shake it off. You know, just like Paul when he was bitten by a snake, just shook it off in the fire. I mean, that's what you do. The power he's giving you. So the mission is there. So how do we fulfill this mission? Is it because we're so great, because God makes us great? Not so much. It's so much because just plainly God is great. And because if you allow him to rule your life, back in the Old Testament, Leviticus chapter 8, verse 22, it said they would do this to consecrate the priests. And, you know, 1 Peter 2:9 tells us we're a chosen generation, we're the royal priesthood. Now we're the priesthood, so we don't have to go through all of these different things, but they meant something. He would bring the second ram, the ram of consecration, and Aaron, who's of the priesthood, and his sons, they were Levites, the tribe of Levi, but lay their hands on the head of the ram, and Moses killed it. And they took some of its blood and put the blood of the ram on the tip of his right ear, on the thumb of his right hand, and on the big toe of his right foot. And they brought Aaron's sons, and Moses put some of the blood on the tips of their right ears, on the thumbs of their right hands, on the toes. Here's what I think it means. On the ear. All parts of the body, because what you hear goes into your whole body. What you see, it's the head really. What you see, you know, affects the whole body. What you smell affects the whole body. What you taste affects the whole body. What you think affects the whole body. So it starts with the ear, and as they anointed the ear with the blood, be covered by the blood, be sanctified, be set apart. Sanctified means being set apart from the rest of the world, knowing that you are a chosen generation and a royal priesthood. Dedicate our conversations, so our five senses. Dedicate our conversations, our looks, our listening, and our thoughts. Then the thumbs. This is our action. This is our works. All should be for the glory of God. And then our toe. It should be the direction for our life wherever we go. And in this Devo, I just want you to know that you can have a purpose, a destiny. You can fulfill a mission that God has given you if you'll be covered by his blood, if you'll be set apart, if you'll be what he's called me to be. We have a lot to pray about, so let me close in prayer. God, I pray that we will be all you've called us to be. We will be the royal priesthood, the chosen generation. We will be those who are that peculiar people that are set apart and sanctified. Anoint us right now, not only with your blood, but with your Holy Spirit. Our eyes, our ears, our nose, our hands, our feet, everything for your glory. Be with the family, the Mustafa family. Be with our president. Be with our nation. And we pray for the peace of Jerusalem. In Jesus' name, amen. We'll be back next week, next Tuesday. Bless you. It's a sunshiny day. Have a great S-O-N shiny day, a sunshiny day in the Lord. We'll see you at 11 o'clock with Laura Black Wine. Woo!
Clouds are rolling away, and I see blue skies coming through.